close inside the two lower bands. Okay, and as you can see right there where it actually closes. Okay, when you see that the close is actually inside those two lower bands, the next thing we need to take a look at is to see where it lines up with the with the accelerator oscillator. This is the vertical scale, all right, where the perforated dotted dashed line is. Okay, anytime that you see that these green bars come below, give yourself a little bit of a heads up to say, okay, this might not turn out into a profitable trade, or you might not get that so much out of that trade. When you see that the candle, or the bar here on the accelerator or oscillator goes above the vertical scale and it lines up with the close here, then that's a pretty good trade. However, there is a little bit of formula to it, okay, a little bit of refining, which I refer to as loss filters, okay. And I've noticed that a majority of the time, that any time that a bar appears above the vertical scale, the trade has actually turned out to be far more profitable should it actually line up within those two lower bands and the close is actually sitting inside. Okay. Now, sorry, I've had a little bit of a critique that someone's saying, oh, please stop saying all right and okay and yeah and this, that. So I'm sorry, but it's just the way I talk. I'm just hoping that you can, bear with me through that. All right. Okay. I'm doing it again. Okay. Oh, okay. Moving on. Okay. So yeah. So when you see that the first instance here, that's your first instance, and that qualifies. The next qualifying area, but take note that it needs to actually be within the first bar at the end. Okay, at the end of its session. And I wouldn't actually recommend doing it on the second one, but if you did, just be extra cautious. And also the first bar above the vertical scale, especially for a buy trade, you should really ideally look for very strong signals and only pay attention to the ones that are above the vertical scale. Okay? And once you actually see it lining up with the vertical scale, I mean this one right here actually lines up with this lower one. And if you're into reward and risk ratio and stuff like that, I've actually drawn a black line here just in case for our colorblind people, just a little heads up here, is that my course, my daily trading system, is actually being configured in this particular kind of format to actually help people who might have color blindness. Alright, so hopefully this black line here will actually be great for them. Alright, so as stop loss, when we see a signal comes in, where do we place a stop loss? Well, you could go ahead and actually look at the second, the previous bar, the candle before the one that we actually get in on,